My name is Tim. I work for the Australian Fisheries Management Authority, working on the compliance and data and communications and all sorts of stuff when it comes to Commonwealth fisheries. Went to Australian National University, ANU, and studied environmental science. I was keen on the agriculture, conservation, fisheries. I was working in a pub just over the road from AFMA. Started chatting with a lady who was coming in for drinks after work, and she worked for AFMA, and let me know about jobs and interesting adventurous sort of stuff that AFMA offered. And so I signed up, got in touch with the observer coordinator. I said I'd studied environmental science, but that I was also going to head up north to the Northern Territory and work on a pearl farm. That worked well for him because he wanted a little bit of sea time to go well with the academic sort of side of things, and together that was a pretty good foundation for an observer. On the Southern Ocean boats, it's 24/7 fishing and it's 100% coverage, observer coverage. My day will consist of waking up at midnight or midday, depending on which 12-hour shift I'm on, having a bite to eat, maybe a coffee, heading straight down to the factory or going out on deck to do observations. If I'm up in the northern prawn fishery, it might consist of sampling some prawns and finding some lengths, sampling a little bit of bycatch and doing a bycatch analysis and how much it all weighs, what species are involved, and lots of checking my ID guides and checking my books to work out what's there. I haven't come across any issues, and there's a whole compliance team at AFMA that really covers that aspect of things. Part of my job would be talking about that if and when it did come up, but the bigger part of my role would be to collect as much data as possible and fit in well with the team and do my bit. My experience so far has been pretty great, and everyone's been very hospitable. At the start it might be a little bit rough and you've got to warm everything up and maybe lend a hand or stay positive, and even with some characters who weren't too happy about you at the start, they tend to all come around. My first trip, I was lucky enough to be offered the second observer role on one of the Southern Ocean boats for 131 days down to Heard Island. Once you're sailing to Heard Island from Tasmania, there's almost no going back. Rough seas down there, yeah, for sure. You get pretty used to it, and the boats are big and good at their job, well built. Coming home is probably the most exciting part of the job, especially after a big trip, but big weather's always pretty exciting, especially on small boats. Getting up and realising that you're floating out in the sea is pretty awesome thought, and you do get those really special days where there's no waves, no weather, blue skies. There's all sorts of ways to get into the industry. If you're keen on something, I'd recommend the pearl industry, going into that aquaculture sort of stuff, stepping up to an offshore boat and then doing some different things, and it's a great lifestyle and a great way to see new places around Australia.